So let's have a look then. So far, it's all the same. Elise, Maokai banned out by Fnatic, Orianna, Kassadin banned by Roccat. But it all comes down to the final bans that are the real interesting ones here.
Yeah, we're gonna see Elise Maokai being banned by Fnatic pretty much every game. Same could go for Orianna, Kassadin on the side of Roccat. So actually exactly the same bans. Okay, so they make the change. No TF ban this time around. Not expecting Fnatic to first pick it, however.
No, I'm not sure about that either, but you have to wonder if Roccat will then maybe fancy themselves a
Still, you don't really want to pick it so early, especially because Overpow already has had some trouble in lane. He's not going to get easier by playing TF in the laning phase for him. I mean, both games he's been behind because it was against Syndra. And if he does log in TF on the side of Roccat, we're going to see an Ahri pick coming in. Ahri coming in for Fnatic, sorry.
So Fnatic then taking their time with this one. I'm assuming that they were ready for that Syndra ban here after xPeke played it so well in that last game. I'm assuming the discussion is, do you take Kog'Maw or Nami at this point?
Yeah, exactly. Not Nami. It shouldn't be Nami now.
No.
I actually like this a lot more. Yeah, this is very, very smart because even if Nami gets locked in on the side of Roccat here, you still have the options of taking their Morgana, trying to survive the laning phase anyway, or go with the Thresh pickup, and you once again have, in my opinion, the strongest AD carry at the moment. And seen it twice today, won both games.
That's very true. See if Roccat then do take away the Nami. Or whether they're happy to let that one go. You'd expect not. And actually, we're going to see double fish. Nami locked in for VandeR. Xaxus will select the Fizz for Overpow here. And we saw first pick Fizz in that last game.
Yeah.
And honestly, he tried. I mean, he tried Overpow. You can definitely say that he tried in that last one. DFG trying to constantly pounce on Rekkles, but I think it only really worked out once. And that time, he actually had to flash right on top of them to do it. And they still ended up losing the game.
And this simply, it must mean Roccat is afraid of Fnatic locking in the Fizz, so they feel like they have to take it early. Otherwise, there's no reason to blind pick your Fizz. I mean, again, first pick last time, first rotation this time around for Roccat on red side, so they must really fear xPeke locking it in, and then the fact that he could then beat Overpow in lane and become this late game monster, which Fizz can be. Otherwise, I don't see any reason for really picking it.
Well, it'll be an Evelyn once again for Cyanide. And had a good game last time around. Obviously, game number one ended up going with Jarvan. They also take Nidalee away, which has actually landed on the Roccat team for the first two games. So Xaxus going to have to choose something a little bit different. Does Celaver want to go with that Tristana here for the lane?
It didn't work out too well last game.
No.
They did manage to early push the tower because Jankos came down. Kha'Zix is open for him again if they want to do somewhat the same deal. And now you do have the Nami on your side, making it a stronger lane for Tristana. So I would be surprised to see it. And once again now, they can now just sit and push in the wave. Like constantly push it in. You have sustain from Nami. Jankos can come down on Kha'Zix to push the tower, which they should be doing, like they've done in the last two games. Won't be getting their hands on Nidalee, however, for Xaxus up in the top lane. So since they want to have a go on it, and he has, of course, well, he banned Syndra. Ahri is now left open, played it in Super Week.
Yeah.
Should be a pretty easy pick up here for Fnatic if they want to go for the assassin style.
Oh, we see YellOwStaR locking Leona as a support for Fnatic. There is a Morgana, and as I said, he actually switches over to Morgana. They lock in Ahri as well in the mid lane for xPeke.
Yeah, so you decide to go there Morgana, which is considered actually one of the best supports, if not the best support at the moment. And they're gonna have to just deal with Nami in lane here. We might see them try and lane swap around to dodge around the Nami Tristana here, depending on what Roccat will actually log in as their last pick. But otherwise, again, you have split push potential from the Nidalee. Even xPeke on Ahri actually normally runs teleport, so he can do the same, where he's split pushing. And Fnatic, with the pick potential of Morgana, you have Evelyn as well in stealth, and then you have all the burst potential coming in from both Nidalee and the Ahri pick. So double global, split push potential, and pick potential once again from Fnatic.
On the other side, though, here for Roccat, we're going to see Xaxus locking in Aatrox. So something a little bit different here for Xaxus after that Nidalee was taken away by sOAZ.
Nidalee taking away, takes banned. He doesn't want to play YellOwStaR into Nidalee. The laning phase would be close to impossible for him. And Roccat probably, this signals to me that Roccat wants to get standard lane, similar to have Tristana and Nami against the Fnatic dual lane here, and then can use Jankos to move between the lanes and push down these towers, because they pick Aatrox purely for the laning phase here. And now Xaxus is gonna try to stand against Nidalee in a one-on-one. It's gonna be hard for him, but to me at least it explains why they don't lock in something like an YellOwStaR. So definitely looking for standard lanes on the side of Roccat and Fnatic here. To be honest, can be happy with both here. You're gonna get Nidalee versus Aatrox top lane, should be fine. For sOAZ, he should be able to control the lane, and then Cyanide can just put some attention on helping the bottom lane. And it's not like you instantly lose as Morgana against Nami. It's just a hard lane to play, because Nami's W will break your black shield every single time, and then you can land a bubble or land a slow, and at the same time you will get out-sustained. But they do have one of the best bottom lanes in Europe, if not the best, on the side of Fnatic, so should be able to handle it.
And even in a matchup that's going to be hard. Guys, I want to know if you think that these comps have affected your vote for the game. Tweet hashtag FNC win or hashtag ROC win, and we'll see who you think came out ahead later on. Obviously, it's been with Fnatic this entire time. Was a slight swing, I think, after game number 1 that Roccat picked up, but was still, I think, 69% or somewhere around that region.
And if it was hard for Overpow to do anything in team fights in the last game, it just became even harder due to the Morgana pick, and that has a black shield as well to block your ulti and block some of your damage. So we have to see what Overpow can do here, if he's just going to focus on split pushing, but then he has to get ahead early on.
Well, let's find out, shall we? We're going into game number 3 here between Fnatic and Roccat. The score, as you saw at the top of the screen, is 1-1, all tied up. So at least another 2 games to come of this thrilling semi-final, with a winner going to Worlds and the loser still having a chance of it.
Of course.
But they'll have to play another best of 5 tomorrow for that 3rd place decider against the loser of SK Gaming and Alliance. That best of 5 will be coming up right after this one. So still lots and lots of action coming your way today from Gamescom. So at the moment, you can see it's pretty much a mirror image on both sides of the map. We'll see if they want to keep it that way, though, after they've got some early vision.
Yeah, they do know Xaxus in this top lane here, and Overpow looking for a piece of YellOwStaR. Will actually get it.
Wow.
He's hit him once here. So we do just have very standard start from both teams. Getting down the wards at level 1 here. Cyanide plays down his ward. Was spotted by Roccat. So they know Cyanide is going to start his blue buff. Or at least they know he was around his blue buff, because they didn't see anyone walking out from the bush after the ward was placed. Can only be the stealth Evelyn. And standard lanes, at least from Fnatic here. Roccat, on the other hand, is sending their dual lane up to this top side here. So I'm not sure if they were expecting Fnatic actually to lane swap. And that's why they're putting VandeR and Celaver up in this top side.
Well, it looks that way. And actually Fnatic gonna be down at the bottom with their duo. You can see that sOAZ gonna help Cyanide for his blue buff start, and Roccat now starting to cross the river. They're gonna be spotted though. And that means that Fnatic can choose what the reply is. Actually, it looks like they're just going to head straight over and do the same to Roccat.
Yeah, I can just trade buffs here. Rekkles already down his bottom lane. On your minimap, if you paid attention, he just instantly walked up to the enemy minions, grouped them together, so they're going to focus his first minion coming in from his wave, and therefore he's now going to start the freeze in the bottom lane. He can just sit down there for the next few minutes and enjoy some free farm. Meanwhile, up on his top side, Celaver is probably going to try and do the exact same. We often don't see Tristana take explosive shot at level 1 simply because you don't want to push lane. It's actually going to push slightly down towards Fnatic. So he's going to have to push it all the way into the tower, bounce it on the tower, get some extra minions from Fnatic's side, push back onto him if he wants to freeze up in his top lane.
They actually walked through, I think, there without being spotted by that ward, which was just off to the side. And Roccat have got Jankos and Xaxus now doing their own red buff. So, I mean, at this stage you're expecting, okay, they've probably spotted coming over to our blue, over to their blue, and they're going to do exactly the same to us. You've not seen any sign of them since that, so you can pretty much guarantee that that's already gone. And with that, Xaxus just going to help Jankos here around the jungle, get himself some extra gold and XP in there as he goes, rather than sitting in lane and just being totally taken out of it.
Yeah, again, this lane swap must simply also mean that Roccat wants to dodge around the Nidalee in the start, at least for Xaxus. Let him get level 6, level 7, then he should be able to stand toe-to-toe with sOAZ, at least for a while, until sOAZ completes his Trinity Force and becomes super strong again. And that should be the main reason for the actual lane swap here, because not due to the bottom lane matchup, that was definitely looking good for Roccat. And we actually saw Down this bottom lane, Rekkles and YellOwStaR pushed it into the tower. And sOAZ jumped down into this bottom lane, but wants to lose this top tower, and then sOAZ has to take bottom lane tower all alone.
Yeah, 4 people. Rekkles is actually going to be the one moving in with YellOwStaR. Can they finish this one off? They surely can. There's 4 of them there. A bunch of minions as well. Fnatic will start to move forward. Actually, Xaxus just walking out of range there. They didn't finish it. There we go.
No!
Oh,
they had to get it! So they wanted to take the tower, now they have to stay. With at least Xaxus up here to push it in and get the one last hit. Shouldn't be too hard.
No.
Let's see. Even gonna jump in and kill it.
Jump in, take some damage for his pleasure though. Won't get hit with a binding though. And that will be first turret of the game, then going over to Roccat. And they're going to switch it back up. They were the ones that sent their duo up top and obviously didn't want to take this 2v1, this 2v2 battle. There is a charm on from xPeke onto Overpow. Level 4 though decides not to go all in. Don't forget that both of them are running teleport here, so no ignite for that extra damage.
So again, they were down this bottom lane. sOAZ was left to just farm, while Xaxus was up in the top lane together with VandeR and Celaver to take the tower down. And we saw the dual lane from Fnatic just instantly go into the lane, start pushing it into Xaxus here and try and get some damage on the tower. So a lot of farm being picked up by sOAZ, and let's see here if xPeke is in trouble.
He's got a flash, surely. He's actually waiting very long on this one, and that's going to go down. He's not going to flash, that's why he didn't flash. And, well, great stuff, Joe. First blood comes over to Jankos, and that's the danger. No flash in there. When did he actually use his flash?
We didn't see. It must have been a bad trade with Overpow in lane, where he had to use the flash very early on, because it's almost ready again. We didn't have any real level 1 action.
Yeah, I totally missed that one, and, well, it makes sense then that Jankos would just loop back around just before that flash comes off cooldown. He's able to then pick up the first kill of the game again. Jankos, the first blood master. We'll see if we can continue that trend. Obviously, just the assist for Overpow, but that's giving him the sheen here on top of that crystalline flask.
And look how much farm sOAZ has picked up already, because he was left alone in the bottom lane, and then Fnatic sent the dual lane up. So Rekkles did lose some farm, but same goes for Celaver, because he was joined by both Jankos and Xaxus. They all tried to kill the minions. Therefore, actually do have a CS lead for both sOAZ and Rekkles at this point. Still in a 2v1. Only the top tower went down. Roccat, the 4 members, took it down as fast as they could, as soon as they saw sOAZ was down this bottom lane all alone. And it's going to be hard for Fnatic to actually push the towers, because Xaxus is also getting some levels up here, and diving in Aatrox is not exactly the easiest thing due to his passive, and already getting some experience. He's level 5. We actually do see also Fnatic now just simply swap him back. Standard lanes, sourcing him up to the top lane, bought a few Dawn's Blades. Should be hitting his level 6 fairly soon, and then down this bottom lane, we're gonna get the 2v2 now.
So, just to update you on the flash scenario, xPeke actually pressed it by accident, I think.
Oh.
So,
well,
yeah, funny how that can work out for you. Almost back off cooldown, and I don't think that Overpow actually spotted that one, so they were probably wondering why is he not flashing as I was, actually. But xPeke accidentally burning his flash cost them the first blood here. We'll see if that comes to haunt them any later on. You see xPeke there on the player cam. Not exactly looking happy about it right now.
Looking very focused. I mean, he's still farming well. Overpow once again on Fizz. He does have some trouble early on. You want to get a few levels before you can really start trading, especially against a range like Ahri here. And yes, you gave up the first blood. Sana was there. He tried to come in and help. Simply meant that Overpow actually caught up in farm and also got the assist. So very nice play by Roccat. And I think we should probably say unlucky from xPeke with their accident on the flash.
Yeah, definitely not ideal. Oh, his flash is back up now though. Just take note of that one as it starts to come down. Good charm onto Overpow. He's going to go all in, has he? No, actually deciding against using his ultimate. xPeke will actually ult to get away and do a bit of damage over onto Xaxus as well. But if the fish would have connected there, they would have at least got the flash out of xPeke.
Yeah, he didn't even try to use his ult because he knew xPeke would instantly start jumping around with his ulti, so he didn't want to waste it. Actually, just keep it for the pressure. Got the ulti off of xPeke here, and now Overpow back in the lane, can try and jump him again, and now force his flash this time around because he kept his ulti. And Xaxus is also just roaming down, even though it's actually one-on-one top lane, still moving out of the lane because sOAZ is pretty far ahead in farm and is very strong at this point. Due to the nice little trick in the lane swap from Fnatic. Was it worth it? Well, they lost the top tower for it, but now they have a very strong Nidalee. So that's the trade they had to make.
So, what's next here? We see that Roccat are going to be recalling on the bottom lane once again. Pickaxe start for Celaver. And put down some of the other items. Double Doran's blade. Longsword and boots actually for Rekkles, so he's not actually gone directly up to that phase. You might expect it went for that extra Doran's in there. See how that all goes. Jankos meanwhile getting his his red buff. Not actually coming around just yet. And as you said, in this top lane, sOAZ just so far ahead. Xaxus trying to keep himself sustained using his blood well. Oh, blood price.
Don't ask me, ask a quick shot. He knows all the names. I don't. And let's see. Jankos want to get a gang on.
Bloodthirst.
Top lane
That's
here. Oh, Xaxus actually, as it was procced already.
Well, that is his blood well, but Jankos is actually coming into this one. This may be just baited out by Roccat. There's no damage. Jump comes in, and Jankos is going to get his second kill of the game. And while sOAZ is feeling comfortable there to try and kill off Xaxus, they come around. Meanwhile, VandeR getting exhausted. Ulti came out. Tidal wave. That's not going to have the effect that he would have wanted. Black shield is onto Cyanide as well. VandeR surely going to go down. It's Rekkles that gets the kill. They can't kill off Celaver, but a 1-for-1 trade across the map.
Yes, up in this top lane here. Xaxus stayed in lane, even though he was low, and there's the execute takedown from Nidalee. Simply just to bait sOAZ to go aggressive. He even used the flash actually to pop the passive from Xaxus up there, and then Jankos just joined in, picked up the kill. Xaxus stayed alive, but then quick response down this bottom lane, getting a kill onto VandeR, on to Rekkles as well. So trading 1-for-1. No dragon was taken, even though we had the jungler up in the top lane. And then this bottom lane. I actually do like the double Doran's blade from Rekkles to respect the fact that it's a very hard lane he's going to go into here. Just to get some early combat stats before building into Trinity Force. Get the extra lifesteal as well. Roccat actually starting this dragon here because Fnatic stayed in lane to push it out into the tower, and then they started recalling. So now Roccat saw them recall, started the dragon. There's no dual lane from Fnatic. There's no jungler either to stop it. So very, very nice response here by Roccat, seeing the fact that Fnatic were pushing out the bottom lane, recalling really late, and then you just take the objective. Overpow in here. He needs to be careful. Cyanide is there.
Oh, Cyanide there. The fish does go out there onto xPeke. Willow trying to connect one last time. Can he do the damage? No. Playful tricks are off from Overpow. Meanwhile, they're trying to collapse it on towards YellOwStaR in the river as well. Got his black shield on, pops his ultimate. He's actually going to get his ult proc, but Overpow might be able to chase through to finish this one out. Good dot binding. Can they get onto him? Jankos doesn't have the jump available.
Oh,
and now xPeke is coming in from the side. Rekkles at the front. Rekkles actually doing decent damage here. That's a good bubble coming through, but Cyanide is still chasing. He's quite far away from the rest of his team. Buster shot used to knock him back. VandeR now become the victim now. Cyanide down to less than half. Has to go back. sOAZ tries for the spear. Celaver jumps away. And a messy, messy fight that in the end leads to no kills.
So as he teleported down from the top lane just to join the fight here, and everyone from Fnatic just kept chasing Roccat, couldn't kill them. Xaxus meanwhile in his top lane is just pushing it down. And everyone actually stayed alive. Even YellOwStaR, he was the first victim. He stayed alive, then he just got turned around. Xaxus onto this tower here.
Ulti popped as well.
Poked the tower.
A lot of damage as well. It's half HP at least gone before sOAZ gets back to lane. There is sOAZ, and Xaxus just runs away. Kind of how it's been going there, unless he has Jankos to back him up. Knows that he's not exactly in a favourable position. When I was talking about Rekkles earlier on, just going for those double Doran's blade, obviously was sat on a decent amount of cash as well, so almost got himself the Phage, also picked up the full sheen on that last back there, so already a scary Kog'Maw is slightly behind on the farm compared to that of Celaver, who looks to be bypassing the Zeal this time around and just rushing straight in towards that Infinity Edge.
Okay, so just going straight Infinity Edge. In the last game, he actually went pickaxe into Zeal, and then he completed Infinity Edge before he went for the static ship. So for Celaver, it must really depend on just how much gold you have when you actually go back here. If you can afford getting a BF sword or Infinity Edge, you will get it. But there are some of the AD carries here in Europe who really prefers to get the static chip first. And actually think it's a lot stronger as long as you have pickaxe or Bloodthirster. Both junglers once again though, opposite lanes. Cyanide up in his top lane this time.
Xaxus does have his blood well available, doesn't get the knock on Cyanide, but Cyanide's tanking up the turret, and Xaxus is doing a good job of damage here. Really going to be able to dive on into him once again. Overpow is going to come in. The fish will go wide though. Has he got, number one, enough mana to get in? And will the cooldowns come off for him? Cyanide trying his best to get away, turns around. And he gets the kill. He got the kill there. sOAZ is going to go down. And now it's all about trying to find Cyanide before he goes invisible. And he's able to escape. Meanwhile, Roccat are pushing bottom. Fnatic have pushed middle, and Peke will take it.
So okay, so down this bottom lane here, Jankos did his, again, the standard. I'm not going for a gank, I'm just going in to take the tower. We talked about how with Nami, Tristana, they could push the wave in. Jankos could join, get the tower, did it right here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, a bit of a failed dive. Cyanide took a lot of damage under the tower here. Same goes for sOAZ, which meant Overpow joined in. They traded 1 for 1, but then it turned around again and say Fnatic picked up the mid tower because Overpow was roaming. So a lot of towers, a lot of kills here. Actually ended up trading this tower for tower and kill for kill.
YellOwStaR, funny thing is there, if you'd have interrupted, the two of them might have actually ended up dying since his AD carry wasn't there. And obviously that turret has already gone down. xPeke, you know, Overpow moving up towards that top lane, spending a fair bit of time chasing them all over the place. That whole time, Peke continues to farm up, not scared of moving in, taking those raid camps as well. He's a massive chunk of CS over Overpow at this point. Athene's Unholy Grail is done, and it's going to be sat on 1,300 gold as well.
And if you do look at their towers now, because we just saw 2 of the towers go down, the top lane tower from Roccat is very low, down to like 8% HP. Down the bottom lane, it's on like 25% HP as well, which means if Fnatic just gets one push going, they can easily take 2 towers. The mid lane tower, the last auto turret from Fnatic, is still pretty healthy in this mid lane here. So Roccat needs to be careful they don't let Fnatic take down 2 towers at once, get a big spike of gold, and then potentially even a dragon, which is going to be spawning here in 1 minute and 15 seconds. So if they at least can delay the towers dying till after the dragon, Fnatic won't have the gold from it to use in the fight.
Going towards Jankos, ultimate actually used. Peke is going to ult over the top as well, and Jankos no doubt screaming, where are you guys, quick, come over. Oh, great tidal wave though from VandeR, gets 2, Jankos survives, there's an exhaust on Peke, they get another one as well, and now they're trying to chase onto YellOwStaR. The Dark Black Shield will stop the knockup, but the fish comes out anyway, and Roccat, just like that, get a 3 for 0. Fnatic chasing into no man's land.
Still, it was 2 members from Fnatic chasing Jankos here, and he just popped the stealth. He just kept guiding them around, stayed alive. Let's just see it again here. First of all, he's spotted by the ward, of course. Cyanide wants to try and kill him here. xPeke is going to jump the wall as well, so they want to go for the kill. But VandeR already moved from the bottom lane. Same goes to Celaver, so they're going to join in before Rekkles can join. He won't actually even join in time. Beautiful tidal wave from VandeR, knocks 2 members up from Fnatic. Celaver is there, picks up the kill. Once again, another dodge from Jankos. He stays alive, and then it's on to YellOwStaR, who tried to run up and help, just way too late. Easy kills here for Roccat, and really punishing Fnatic for trying to kill Jankos.
So, Dragon time then, there's no TP for Xaxus, but it doesn't matter. Oh, double bubble there in the death brush. They actually didn't realize it, I think, so didn't follow through on it. Jankos actually getting hit, will decide to leap over the wall. And they lose the pink ward, but Dragon's already gone. And that brings the gold a little further in Rockat's favor, 3,300 at this point.
Fnatic though want to get this bottom lane tower down, because the top tower did go down, sOAZ stayed while we had the fight going on down around the dragon. Roccat, they're not done fighting, they're looking for more.
Chasing on from this one, the fish will do the damage to Cyanide, but doesn't actually knock him out. Here comes sOAZ from the side, they kill off Celaver, Overpow and VandeR now gonna have to run away. Xaxus is here as well, they didn't actually kill YellOwStaR. Bloodwell is popped, he's going back, straight back down from it. That was a double kill for sOAZ on Nidalee.
So let's just completely turn it around. First we had Fnatic chasing Roccat, being too over-aggressive, end up dying, give up the dragon, and then Roccat comes down to this bottom lane, chases YellOwStaR, he stays alive. Fnatic joins in, picks up 2 kills, picks up a tower as well. So both teams here really punishing each other when they are over-aggressive. Even got a bit of damage on his mid lane tower.
And then surmise from that, who's going to pull ahead? The team that don't make the silly decisions to go chasing extremely deep. Once again, look at this. Coming around the side. Blue buff was actually started there by Cyanide. Jankos gets it, hits his ultimate. He's going to jump over. I'm not sure that he can actually catch Cyanide.
Oh, he's
he
very
might
alone
find
here.
himself on his own. He is on his
Whoa,
own.
whoa,
Oh, flashing in for it as well. Ultimate out of Cyanide. Think he's
gonna
got this
kill him.
kill though. Oh, it pops his W.
It's ready
Jankos
now.
has got the blue up. There he is. Jankos gets the kill. How are you going to escape though? Scrying up comes out. Here's the rest of the team. Fish comes out. It's on Rekkles, but he's out of range, and Rekkles gets the kill.
The damage from sOAZ on his takedown when he's in the Cougar form, his Q is just insane. As long as the member's down to like 50% HP, he does so much damage. Also meaning, trading 1-for-1 again, chasing a Jankos is ran all alone in. Celaver and VandeR was trying to like catch up to him, but they were too far away, couldn't get there in time. End up trading 1-for-1. But every single time we do have one of these fights, there's always one member from Fnatic staying in a different lane, pushing it in. So xPeke got a lot of damage on this tower here. Got some damage on the mid tower earlier as well. Which means now Roccat once again has a situation where they need to be careful they don't leave someone like sOAZ alone, because then he's going to take this top tower very easily, as it's already pretty low. And talking about sOAZ, there he is.
And there is the vote. Hashtag FNC win coming out big ahead in this one. After Fnatic won game number 2. Also have to point out in game number 3 that xPeke is 67 CS ahead of Overpow at this point. With a lot of gold.
He did die twice, and we do have 2 kills on Overpow, so...
So actually what I'm saying is they're even for show. When I press X there and I look down the gold, bang, even. But the CS is still a lot of gold if Fnatic can take towers and dragons after it. Then we'll see.
100% correct, 100% correct. And again, as we just talked about, the mid lane tower and the top lane tower did take some damage before after all the fighting, and Fnatic now grouping in this mid lane. Only 3 members here, and there's gonna be a teleport from Xaxus behind them. Roccat once again looking to fight.
I think
it's actually Overpow.
Yeah.
Same.
Overpow coming in, and they actually spotted him coming through there as well. He pinged it out early enough, and Fnatic were able to just break away from one another. Not bunch up there for the easy damage out of Fizz, and well, they got off lightly in that scenario. Actually, the inner turret in the mid lane, Fnatic did good damage early on, and should only take 3 or 4 auto attacks from Rekkles to actually finish it.
And both teams, they want to do this 1-3-1 here. So sOAZ and xPeke are already in the side lanes. Overpow is going to join xPeke down his bottom lane. Xaxus is going to join sOAZ in the top lane. And then we have this fight in the mid lane between the support, the jungle, and the AD carry, where it's not even just about pushing the lane, it's also about who's going to react fastest to move to the side lanes. Okay, is sOAZ going to win a fight on the top lane, or is there a chance he's going to win it? We instantly send our members from the mid lane up to this top side so we can help push it in. If we do get a kill, we can then take a tower, and it goes for both teams. So we do have this 1-3-1 right now, and that's also what you get when you have 4 teleports in the game.
And Xaxus here is going to pop his ultimate, but all of a sudden, YellOwStaR will be there as well. Ulti running down. There is the exhaust, but it's only to really get sOAZ away. That's a good binding from YellOwStaR. It's going to be without now whether he can get away from the bubble. VandeR actually doesn't even try for it. And Rekkles running up through towards that top lane as well. Got himself the red buff. Didn't see if that was actually a steal there from Jankos trying to do his red, but minions are coming in towards that mid lane. This should be finished off with this push.
4 members pushing in. There's teleport on sOAZ, is in base. Celaver is there. So the 2 towers, which did take some damage early on. Easy pickup for Fnatic. sOAZ up in his top lane, even just face tanking Xaxus while he actually killed it. So that's a good spike of gold. They instantly picked up, and now moving down towards the dragon, spawning in about 35 seconds. Trying to look for a pick first. You do have Morgana and Ahri together, so if one member walks in, you get the binding, you get the charm, and you should be able to kill them. It was funny to see how both supports were like thinking the same. Oh, let's get to this top lane here, let's get up to help. And they were the only ones there to help between the 2 top laners. But it is what we see when we have all the split push. It's a lot about who's gonna rotate the fastest between the lanes.
Oh, baited.
Oh, that's a binding and
a little bit of a trap there from Fnatic. Cyanide will actually get that kill. Annoyance when that happens, and it's kind of what happens when you can't get that vision in there. And look at that graph. Creep score difference over time. There's a tiny little spike somewhere at the start there for Roccat, but other than that, it's been all about Fnatic. There's another dragon coming in. Now, Fnatic, if we look at the gold, are 2,400 ahead. And are pushing this bottom lane, the only one with a turret left outside of the base.
Looking for the last tower here. Not really gonna push it though, just get the minions up, reset the lane here. Rekkles should have quite a lot of gold. He's been sitting and farming, picked up towers, picked up dragons. He's almost sitting on 2,000 gold at the moment. So once Fnatic actually goes back to spend all the gold they've picked up, should see some key items and then they might look for a fight. Overpow will get his blue buff. Nice little move where he's running behind the golem to take the spear. And then he picks up the blue buff. Better game for him on Fizz this time around. He had a very bad start in the last game and never really got in the game this time around. He has 2 kills. Getting his DFG fairly early on. And then he should hopefully be looking for the Hourglass now. Let's actually have a red potion.
Let's just see whether he can actually get into the backline here. We saw him try over and over and over and over again in game number 2 as XPeke might be in danger. He's going to get slowed. That's a good bubble from over by VandeR. Exhaust is down. Tidal Wave knocked up XPeke, but he flashed, uses his ulti as well, and actually will be able to escape.
So one ulti used here by VandeR. Forces the flash and ulti from xPeke here. Nice little trade by Roccat, catching him out. And now they're staying around this bounty here, trying to get up some wards. It's a little bit too early for them to just rush it, especially because xPeke had already recalled and has teleport ready. sOAZ on the other hand is actually in the bottom lane. No teleport, looking for the tower. Roccat just got a few wards, realized they have to go back now, and this Nidalee has just been insanely annoying. Xaxus hasn't been able to do anything against him for the entire game. First we had Roccat lane swapping to avoid the early lane between Nidalee and Aatrox. And then as soon as they got back to standard one-on-one lanes, it's actually just been either Jankos trying to shut down sOAZ, 2v1 together with Xaxus, or otherwise it's just been sOAZ hitting the tower, pushing in the lane over and over and over.
And you have to expect that it's just going to continue to do exactly that here. Xaxus trying to hold this lane out. Yeah, actually pushing it further back, and Fnatic have 4 men over by Baron. They've got complete vision control of it as well.
Not the biggest fan of the Aatrox pick. Well, we are already talking about the top laners, and he seems to have become their I've nothing left to play champion in top lane in Europe, and I'm just going to lock in Aatrox. Kevin as well from Millennium locked it in the quarterfinals against SK Gaming, and it didn't work out for him at all, and ended up switching over to YellOwStaR in the end. But the whole idea was probably just to get someone who could wave clear a little bit, try and hold his own against the Nidalee, which has not been working at all, as we just saw.
Well, there it is, cut off from Rekkles. They actually came from the middle lane there, if you were wondering where all of a sudden Kog'Maw and Evelyn came from. They were actually pushing in towards the inhibitor turret in the middle lane. Meanwhile, that mid lane has been pushed back. YellOwStaR not going to be in any danger of going down there to Jankos. So only the base of Roccat really remains, and so far they've just been helpless to stop it. This game just kind of falling away from them without any massive team fights. Fnatic step by step have taken those towers out. There is another charge of the ultimate from Jankos. He'll be able to escape, but with that now down with no tidal wave, Fnatic might even think about baiting Baron again.
But again, this is what happens when you play a comp focused a lot around picks and split pushing, and you then fall behind in gold and you become weaker, so you can sit in this split push. I mean, Xaxus down here at no passive. sOAZ just keep poking him, get onto the tower. Rekkles and Cyanide just moving in. Flash, one hit, and he's dead.
Yep.
And then they take the tower again. So for Roccat, because they do invest so much into the pick potential, into the split push, and then fall behind, like in the last game, we get this point, or we get to this point where they can't really do anything, and we're just waiting for Fnatic to make a play, or for Roccat to try and set up a trap and hope someone from Fnatic will face check, and then they get the kill, potentially pick up a Baron, and then they can try and come back in the game. But it's not like Aatrox is going to become stronger when you go into late game. Like, he's all about the early mid game, which is already gone. So he's now in team fights, he's just gonna be this tank who's gonna jump in your face, into your AD carry, try to be annoying, die, come back to life, die again, and once you get a Guardian Angel, repeat one more time, which is normally what you see Aatrox do in the late game team fights. And Roccat just needs to make a play here. Sending 2 members up in top lane now. sOAZ wisely moving away. The rest of Fnatic just taking it easy. They don't really want to risk anything. So just letting sOAZ do his job in the split push.
No need to risk. I mean, you're ahead in this scenario. You can let Roccat almost come to you. Keep pushing out those lanes. You see there, sOAZ going back to top. And he himself must be sat on a decent... Okay, so he spent already on that giant spell. 800 gold extra to actually spend afterwards. Cyanide, meanwhile, looking for Jankos, and they can use Cyanide as kind of that human ward running around the jungle, see if they can spot anyone out. Oh, binding, not actually connecting there on towards Xaxus. TP is going to be cancelled. That was Overpow who thought about coming in, and that means now that Roccat surely going to be forced away. Well, they're forced away by the fact that they're having a little bit of a fight, and sOAZ is once again just auto-attacking the turret in the top lane.
Yeah, so Overpow actually was in the lane, one-on-one against sOAZ here. 2 members once again moving to this top lane. They want to kill him now. Let's see if they can do it.
BMG
Peke teleporting in.
Fish is coming in, so sOAZ here will go down, but Peke lands the charm on towards Xaxus. There is a Blade of the Ruin King used, and they're going to try and lock up Peke. Can they actually finish him off? He uses ulti to keep the distance, sidesteps a tidal wave, gets the charm onto VandeR, flashes, but can he get away from Jankos? He'll live for a split second longer. The bubble came in, and Jankos finishes him off.
So 2 kills now for Roccat, but it was all 5 members going to the top lane. Sorry, 4 members. Celaver sitting in the mid lane, trying to defend alone. A lot of damage onto the mid tower by Rekkles and YellOwStaR here. Rekkles and Cyanide. Doing really well here, counting the names and how many players there were. Still though, Roccat now went up to the top lane. They got the kills they wanted here. Forced a flash from both xPeke and sOAZ. Teleport down as well. Can look to do the same if they can get onto sOAZ. Now he doesn't have the flash. Just need to be careful there's not sitting 4 members from Fnatic in the mid lane, because they're gonna trade sOAZ dying for the inhibitor. We did see the damage from Overpow here. Once he actually gets onto you, he really hurts.
Yeah, especially that DFG in there, of course. If we look actually at the map right now, there are a lot of wards down from Fnatic. 4 pink wards around Baron. There's 1 on the pink ward on the bottom side of the river. 5 or 6 wards around the rest of the start, at least, of Rockat's jungle. Not exactly too deep, which you'd maybe expect at this stage, especially if sOAZ is still going to continue to try that split pushing game. But Roccat hold on for now. They are about 4,000 gold behind, so it's not exactly a huge amount at this stage. If Fnatic make a wrong call, end up losing 3-4 men, and Roccat can then push for a Baron and a couple of towers, they're right back in it.
It is definitely not over yet. Notice here now, Celaver is the guy going down. sOAZ, you might be in trouble here. Can he kite it? No. No. Oh,
it was close, but Celaver able to finish it off in the end. And more kills for the AD carry. You see there, sOAZ a little bit annoyed with himself getting caught out. And that's the thing I fear for Fnatic here, that they've now 2 or 3 times, actually, if you look at sOAZ, 4 times maybe you could argue, that they get caught out in this, but they don't seem to have any other plan.
So what Fnatic is doing now is being completely over-aggressive in terms of split pushing. When you split push, you need to make sure the rest of your team is in a position where they can punish the other team if they send 2 or 3 members to go kill whoever is split pushing. Fnatic were just running around the mid lane, they're running around in the jungle, nobody was in position to do anything, and now, once again, Roccat looking for a fight, and YellOwStaR, you're gonna die. Can they get the next one?
Well, they get the reset there. Can they get over on towards Peke? He's just charged away. Rekkles had come in on the bottom side as well. I don't think Roccat are quite ready here to think about doing a Baron, but it's another kill for them in another scenario where Fnatic are split up completely. 3 of them now headed up mid lane. Overpow still has his ultimate available. He does decide to throw that in there just to keep them away. But Fnatic seem to be chilling a little bit more, and sOAZ is actually pushing up that bottom lane. They need to wait for him to get actually up there before they start initiating this split push.
Right now, Fnatic just need to completely reset the game. If they want to keep split pushing, what they basically have to do is everyone split up. In the case, we have the 3 members in the mid lane, Rekkles, YellOwStaR, and Cyanide. You have xPeke in one lane, you have sOAZ in the other lane, and everyone start in the middle of the lane, and then you start pushing together up towards the base of Roccat here. And then, let's say 5 members from Roccat is sitting in mid lane, they jump the 3 members, you try and disengage, which means the 2 side lanes, because you're pushing them up at the same time, can then step into the base, get some damage on the tower here, potentially even take it down, and then you back away. Okay, we lost some members, we just opened up their base. What they've been doing the last 10 minutes is basically one guy split pushing all the way up to the base of Roccat, while the remaining members could be either sitting in the middle of the mid lane or in the jungle or in base, and therefore they were not in position to really punish Roccat enough. There was the one time where Rekkles and Cyanide were pushing the mid lane, that was it. Otherwise, Fnatic has not been in a position to punish Roccat whenever they sent 2 members to kill sOAZ, who's just been pushing too deep into the enemy, towards the enemy base, and therefore being punished and killed for it, and bought a lot of time for Roccat here.
Well, it's like they want to now change up that game plan a little bit and bait around Baron. Oh, Roccat waiting for this one. Are they going to go into it? Scrying Orb, of course, is there for Celaver. He's actually just used it. I don't know exactly where he used it, but there's the Void Spikes coming in. Instant jump away just in case, and right decision as well, because YellOwStaR already had sent the binding out. So Roccat know exactly where they are. That's actually going to give up a turret here by the looks of it. Xaxus down on the bottom side, hammering away on it. We are going to have sOAZ coming in. Meanwhile, YellOwStaR getting caught out. What are they going to do? It's a flashing DFG will be thrown. The fish is enough to get the kill. And Overpow gets that one. Bottom turret has gone down. sOAZ is now finally up there. Did use his teleport to get involved. Jankos dodges the spear. sOAZ is going to go aggressive. Rekkles getting that one. Overpow now caught behind enemy lines and should be finished off. Double kill for Rekkles. That should be Baron for Fnatic. But Xaxus is still doing the base.
The sOAZ is going down to defend here. No teleport. He used it to join the fight here. And the rest of Fnatic, they're not starting the Baron. They're actually running back to the mid lane here. They're pinging on the Dragon. So while they won the team fight, they lost 2 towers in the bottom lane. They had 2 members with teleport. Before all this happened, none of them were sitting in the bottom lane to clear the wave and stop Xaxus from actually pushing it. They might be able to get a few kills here though.
Oh, ultimate coming out. There is the tidal wave out from VandeR. Buster shot will knock Cyanide back. Good bubble actually from VandeR, but Nidalee is in chase. Xaxus is there as well. Here comes Ahri from the backside. Peke might be able to clear up here for Fnatic. There's his double. Xaxus will get his blood well popped.
And he's teleported.
And he's dead. Ah yeah, he tried to teleport out of there. It's Rekkles that got that last one. He's now dominating at 6-0-5. They can go back straight to Baron. They can take a Dragon if they want first of all, but Baron is the obvious target here.
So Roccat were actually expecting Fnatic to do the Baron after the one team fight. That's why we saw Celaver and VandeR go to the Dragon. They're like, okay, we can at least take a Dragon. Look down this bottom lane here. Overpow is teleporting. He wants to get inhibitor and trade it for the Baron.
Let's see, Jankos, dangerous, because he can poke constantly from the back here. That's the right decision, I think, from sOAZ. Go in there, try and completely take him out of the way. Meanwhile, Peke dodging off from sOAZ's ultimate. That's a lot of damage coming down. The inhibitor is very, very low. Orb actually missing. There is a good charm though. Peke stops all the damage. The Zhonya's is used, but there is the Orb coming out. Dodged again by Overpow. He's going to try and walk off, but Fnatic now have the Baron. There it is. One charge will finish it off. Killing spree for Peke, and a minute spawn time for Overpow.
Overpow actually missed his ulti down in his bottom lane. He missed his E as well. Ended up losing the fight to xPeke. Didn't get inhibitor, used the teleport. Baron, of course, went to Fnatic because there were still 4 members there. Jankos going in, here's a fight!
Oh, they're going to go straight for it. Who are they going for here, though, really? Cyanide kiting around at the front. There is the binding landing. Cyanide has to flash away. Celaver can't exactly jump in there face first right now. And Peke is still pushing the bottom lane as well. So Fnatic taking a good point there to actually start backing away.
Still though, we do see Roccat is not exactly done in this game here. They are really looking for the plays. Again, this Dragon before, which actually ended up costing them the Baron, was simply because they expected Fnatic to just go straight for Baron after the one team fight. They would take the Dragon at least and say, we get some gold here. But instead, Fnatic just chased them down to the Dragon, killed them, got even more kills actually. Got the Dragon now as well, and the Baron. And then we also saw Overpow tries to teleport in this bottom lane. Missed his ulti, missed his E, couldn't kill xPeke, even though there was no ulti for him before actually the very last second. So misplays from Overpow on the bottom lane. And just Roccat also thinking they could take the dragon, which they couldn't because Fnatic didn't actually start the Baron.
So after that all went down as well, there was a lot of gold for Fnatic. I was just taking a peek, almost 3k in fact for Rekkles. We saw that sOAZ pick up her random wins, a Banshees for both Rekkles and xPeke. Evelyn, Cyanide of course will be looking to get one shortly as well. So some big defensive items coming out on Fnatic's side of things. With that Baron buffer in as well, let's see if they can really crack the shell of Roccat. Don't forget, if we're looking at bases at this point, actually one inhib turret down in Fnatic's base leaves them a little bit vulnerable there. They're clearing out these waves pretty quickly as well by now.
Yeah, you do have quite some wave clear on Celaver. Jankos can help out, Xaxus can help out as well. So there's not enough, like the wave is not fast enough to stop Fnatic from even hitting the tower, and you see them already killing it now. If Rekkles would give it 2 more hits. Thank you, good sir.
There we go. Inhib down. Sorry, inhib turret. Inhib itself will, might as well stay that. It's going to go down as well. So, an inhibitor apiece. Fnatic here surely just going to switch off to one of the side lanes, which funnily enough are actually pushing in Rockat's favor. So, a little bit of groundwork to be done before they can push one of these lanes out and try and crack a second inhibitor line.
And actually in every single game we have seen today, there's been a lot of focus on getting magic resist for the Fnatic members against Overpow, even though he's the only person actually doing like real magic damage. Of course, Tristana has a little bit, but now it's about auto attacks. You have Jankos with its physical damage, Xaxus as well, physical damage. But they just respect Overpow and Fizz so much, they feel like they have to get these Banshees to make it even harder for him to do anything. And it's actually paying off, even though it's only against one member.
The bindings make the damage follow-up so easy there. We saw Celaver getting hit by it. There's a spear that comes flying through. Easy ultimates out of Rekkles. And that is the second inhibitor tower going down. Overpow's trying to keep the mid lane pushed out. Charm actually landing here on towards Aatrox. He will jump away. The inhibitor down to less than half. Jankos then focused. YellOwStaR here gets hit by the fish. Tidal wave comes through. Only will knock YellOwStaR up. And that was everything thrown at YellOwStaR, who didn't even die in the end. Aatrox gets his blood well pumped. He will try and jump away, will be finished off by sOAZ. And that now is a 5 versus 4 with super minions starting to come into the base. sOAZ got a bit deep for this one. Celaver doing good damage, will be finished off. Overpow himself though will fall after killing off sOAZ. And they're on to the Nexus, so it's Jankos, Celaver, and Jankos, I said that.
Two Jankos.
As well. 2 Jankoses, only one. Both Nexus turrets are going down. I can't see them all down. Rekkles turning up towards Celaver. It's xPeke that helped up with that one. Rekkles godlike at 7-0-7. And they're going to focus the Nexus. And Fnatic going to win game number 3. Go 2-1 up. And just 1 win away from Worlds.
So there was some sloppy moves in the game. Roccat tried their best to actually come back. They kept picking up some kills in the side lanes to stop the split push and delay Fnatic. But then we had that one big team fight. First around Baron, Fnatic picked up 2 kills, and then Roccat went down for the Dragon. Fnatic followed, picked up more kills, got the Baron as well, and xPeke won down the bottom lane, the one-on-one against Overpow. And suddenly, it was just Fnatic push into the base, securing the win here. Veggie always smiles. Even after they lose, he's smiling and laughing.
I was going to say, Veggie seems quite happy about the scenario. I mean, 2-1 up Fnatic. It's not over for Roccat.
No.
2 games in a row now, and these last 2 have been very, very difficult for me. It's almost as if Fnatic had kind of warm up in game 1 and have really then got into the swings. Although this game was very close for quite a long time.
It was, and the split pushing didn't really work for both teams, to be honest. They both had a comp who could do it. But we didn't see too much except for the one time where Xaxus got 2 towers down the bottom lane. That was actually about it. Otherwise, every time sOAZ... I mean, so don't get me wrong, the sOAZ split push was great because he applied so much pressure, but it wasn't, in the end, what Fnatic could close on the game on. So in that case, it did work in the start. I'm just going to correct myself there because it was actually very, very good from sOAZ in the start of the game. And then Fnatic just became over-aggressive. They kept pushing up even though the rest of the members were not in a position to actually do something on the map. So Roccat just sent down 2 members to kill sOAZ down the bottom lane. Once again, bought some more time. But overall, every single time we had a chase, except for the one time in bottom lane, Fnatic always managed to hit a tower somewhere.
Yeah.
Which meant they always had some towers low, and then once they actually grouped up in the lanes, got the towers down, got the goal lead, and then kind of kept it, got the map control as well. And we saw a few times where they're like setting up the traps, got a few kills. So it was a good game. It was a bit drawn out simply because of the fact Roccat kept getting some kills in these side lanes. Otherwise, Fnatic looked to be in control. The side lanes, the last 2 games for Roccat has been losing in the early game, both Xaxus and Overpow. Fizz twice for him in the mid lane. They might have to try and fix that, because at the moment it just means they fall so far behind already going into mid game that it's hard for them to do anything with this split push or pick comp they have.
Well, there's definitely a lot of work to be done in this small pause that we have there for Roccat in between the games. But now though, we're going to head over to Shox and the crew.